hard point to kick things off, and for me, this is going to be a pretty simple fight, right? You have to look at the likes of maybe your TJ and your Gunless. I think they're going to have a key factor here. But what's great already, early Championship Sunday, seems like a little bit of a European crowd getting behind Splyce.
Well, they better. I mean, this is the last European team remaining in the tournament. You got to get behind your team, and don't underestimate the home crowd advantage, right? We see it all the time with Optic Gaming. You can provide so much momentum for your team, especially when King Jared is slaying like he has been. But look, this has been a great map for Rise Nation since it's been added into the map rotation. It's such a fast-paced play style on this map. You look for players like Mad Cat and Tommy on the side of Splyce to step up and try to find their rhythm here.
With that said, it's worth mentioning, Jared's had a lot of fun on Valk as well, and he's already off to a great start. Turns and burns, looks for their second. But TJ, well, that could be another one for the highlight reel for him.
But look, this has been a great first hard point for Splyce, right? Now we start the rotation over towards the operations bunker at the top side of the map. Splyce, even though they don't have early position, they have a great lead on that first hard point. Now it's going to be Jared leading the charge. Gunless inside the hill. He's able to find one. Methods follows up, but still the contestant is here. And Gunless, he's already streaked out. If he's able to heat up, man, this is going to be a tough match for Splyce.
Most definitely will. A 5-2 start for him, but as you mentioned, earns the first 2 streaks. And now, as you can tell, Rise Nation, they have control of the hill, and it looks pretty good. And you just pointed out something pretty interesting there, TJ's choice of streaks.
Absolutely like it, yeah. Those are the flat guns, right? So they're going to shoot down at any streaks that come into play if Rise Nation, well, if you're able to earn them, of course. But Rise Nation on Operations Bunker, they've been able to climb their way back into the game.
Yeah, they have. We saw, I think Clay used them a few times in the Pro League, actually got them as well, but kind of miscalled him in.
I think he got like the fire bombs too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Clay's he loves kind of mixing things up in streaks. But as it stands, Rise Nation really clawing back into this one in operations, and they're about to tie things up and actually take the lead. TJ, of course, he's just going to be sat in that hill, picking up that scrap time, but it's going to be that big fight on rotation now, which is key.
Yeah, these are huge kills for Methods. Look at the minimap and look at where all his teammates are positioned. He has the buy time for Looney, who's coming around the flank. He's able to find 2 kills, takes out Tommy, staying alive in the window, and look, buying time for Looney. He's now pushing through. Jared is able to find the kill onto Methods, but it's Rise Nation inside the hard point. They're spawning near the smokestacks side of the map. You see Splyce towards the top. This is looking like a good setup for Rise so far. Let's see if Splyce could break on in.
And honestly, if you're a Splyce fan, you got to look at Bans, right? He's been so good throughout day 1 and day 2. You get to Championship Sunday, and he's had a little bit of a slow start, but it seems like other players kind of picking up the slack a little bit there. Of course, Jared and Mad Cat both currently sitting with 9 kills apiece, and Splyce now fully controlling storage bunker.
And this map just goes to show why it's so important to have really good flex players on your team. You know, as a traditional assault rifle player, it's tough to get going on a map like Valkyrie when the subs are just running and sprinting nonstop, picking up the pace. That's why I was looking at players like Mad Cat, like Tommy to step on up. And to be fair, they're doing fine. It's Vance, the support player for the team. 4 and 8, as we were just pointing out. He's got to find his rhythm, and he's got to find it soon. But fortunately for Splyce, it's essentially a tied game as Storage Bunker is coming to a close. We're about to move over towards the left side of the map, over towards the office hard point. You see Rise on the top side, Splyce on the bottom side. New hard point pops up. It's essentially a tied game.
Yeah, now Tommy, he's going to have to try and break his way straight through. Looney's going to be the first player for Rise there, standing in his way. The support comes through from Jared, but this is where you might see a beautiful bait and switch come through. Tommy gets some streaks of his own, and more importantly, Splyce takes control of the hill. Yeah,
the Artillery Barrage is tier 3 streak, 45 points away from earning that one. Just going to sit cozy inside the hard point, soaking up time. If he's able to find a couple more points, he unlocks that 3rd streak. But his teammates now pushing out outside around him, protecting the outside of the hill, and Rise Nation, they haven't really been able to push in as of yet. Spawns being staggered here, but number 7, Looney, yes, you have him highlighted on your map. He's about to flank all these players of Splyce.
Oh, and Tommy may just have read that one almost perfectly, gets the kill and gets fully streaked out. Splyce now well and truly in the driving seat. 99 points to the 78 of Rise Nation as Rise looked good to potentially play for the scrap, but no, Banks isn't going to allow that to happen. He gets a double, and now TJ trying to get the kills on rotation, ultimately does fall, but bear in mind how many streaks we may see now come through on this next hill.
Well, Gunless still has these 2 streaks that he earned in the beginning stages of the game, so both teams could really afford a later rotation over towards smokestacks because they have those streaks to deny time from the other team. It's going to be the Artillery Barrage being called in. That's Tommy placing it right inside the hard point. Mad Cat's going to sneak on in just in that one little corner, so Splyce are going to be able to soak him some time. Looney's able to deny that as he picks up the kill on the Mad Cat. Both teams just trying to trade kills back and forth as they try to establish some control.
And this is where it gets interesting because Bans, once again, he could be playing for some streaks. He had a slow start, now finds himself on a 4-kill streak, looking for more teammate in support. There's going to be 2 more streaks for Splyce. Can he find the 3rd and final one? I believe the assist may have just come into the nick of time, so he gets streaked. streaks, and realistically, Splyce now are in a fantastic position to take map 1.
Especially considering the slow start that Bance had into this game. He's now starting to heat up, finding a rhythm, and also Mad Cat, he was on his free. Tommy just used his fighter pilot. Everything going in favor of Splyce right now is now they're going up by over 50 points, and they still have a lot of streaks left to use.
Biggest lead we've seen so far here in map 1, as you already see the Rise Nation players ready and waiting to set up on the new rotation. But going into it, it's a 143 to 84 point game in favor of Splyce, and Mad Cat really starting to lead the charge. A 5-kill streak for him, lands some nice shots there on a TJ, forces him to back away, and again, a crucial kill here for Mad Cat. If he's able to get it, he would have got some streaks.
All right, that was a little ambitious. Challenging with the machine pistol right there. I think you just back up, play your life, wait for your teammates to come off respawn, then re-challenge, because those streaks, even on a map like Valkyrie, it's more about denying positions on the map, right? You can use those area of effect streaks like the artillery barrage, like the mortar strike, just to block certain positions and force the other team to reassess and fight from different areas.
Well, we talk about players from Splyce, obviously heating up. TJ just went on a 6 streak, and I believe he got a couple of those kills inside the hard point as well.
Did he get any streaks?
I think he may have done. Yep, he's going to get a fighter pilot and a glide bomb there for his efforts. So we're getting a lot of streaks in this one, Revan.
Yeah, it's nice to have streaks to respond to those of the other team, right? So if Splyce want to decide to invest some streaks, then, you know, now TJ Halley can answer right back. And keep in mind, Band's still fully streaked out, got the mortar strike ready to play. We're about to move over to the operations bunker. Take a look at number 7, though, Looney. He's about to make a big play for his team.
Potentially come through. The hard point, of course, contested. It looks as if now Rise should get some control. And there, of course, Looney picks up Tommy. So Rise Nation can now just chip away at that very fragile Splyce lead.
Yeah, Looney's been doing that all game long, just flanking out through the outer alleys and playing for spawns for his team, allowing his teammates that are finding more success on the map. You know, maybe they're just winning more engagements, obviously, so you want them to be more involved in the action. Looney just taking a backseat role and playing more for spawns.
And let's not forget the first rotation of hills. It was really hill 1 and 2 Rise Nation had a ton of success on, and then kind of Splyce started to pull away a little bit on the latter few hills in the rotation, but 24 seconds left, and Rise Nation now in the lead. To be honest, Splyce have had 0 answer to this. Finally, Bance is able to break in. He finds a double, but instantly traded out. Methods is there with the pre-fire, and again, Rise Nation pick up the scrap time.
I mean, look, the difference here is Rise are now starting to step up with their slaying. You know, Bance had that one spree where he's able to get streaked out. Now he's back to -8. Jerd had that fantastic start to the game. Now he's starting to slow down a little bit. So you need these players on Splyce to heat back up, because right now it's Rise Nation. They're building their lead once again, but the rotation over towards storage bunker, it's Splyce with the early setup.
And Splyce kind of get away with it a little bit there on the rotation, because you see a glide bomb invested there by Rise, doesn't really connect with much, and Jerd plays it just so intelligently, reads the third as well, not going to find the kill. Gunless stays alive, but the challenge could come in from the form of Mad Cat. Ultimately, Gunless denies him as well. Gunless really locking down this hill here for Rise Nation.
And I love that play from Jerd. That's exactly how you turn things around when you're starting to have a slow pace in the game. You just find a corner in an important position on the map, find some easy kills, start to build that confidence. Mad Cat continuing to slay well for Splyce, but it's Rise Nation inside the hardpoint. Still have these streaks available for Gunless if he decides to call some in.
And that's the problem, right? Jerd makes that nice play. You think, all right, momentum may turn here. Gunless instantly denies it. Gets streaks of his own, a 5-kill streak for him. Finally, he gets taken out there, but damage may well have been done, Revan. Now Rise Nation, a 40-point lead. They have streaks to counter Splyce's streaks as we rotate over towards the next hill. It's looking good here for Rise. They've turned it around.
Exactly that. Glide Bomb gets used by Splyce. Rise Nation respond with one of their own, and now we're over towards the office hardpoint. You have some early positioning here for Rise, and look who's playing in that corner, just trying to deny this rotation from Splyce as they start to push on forward. That's going to be Methods. He's able to find one onto Tommy as now split spawns coming in. Rise Nation starting to spawn further and further away. Splyce, they need a break on in. They could really use this time to tie the game up.
Most definitely could, and it wouldn't surprise me. Maybe if they thought about investing a streak, if they were able to get control of the hard point right there, but they're not going to be able to do so. Rise walk straight in, and Rise keep control here. 220. They can win on this hill, so Splyce will need to at least touch the hill to contest, but realistically, you want to break through and you want to pick up this final 24 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be nice to deny the rest of this time for Rise Nation, but they're finding the kills inside the hard point, and Splyce have to continue to commit here. Maybe it's going to be 1 second away for Rise Nation to pick up the kill, and you figure it's only a matter of time. You just continue to flood and trade into the hard point. Roughly 11 more seconds now, 10 for Rise Nation to close this game out. Gunless, he's just taken over the game.
Yeah, he's just been the X factor, right? He's on another 6 streak now. He's going to overlap those streaks as well.
Look at how much time he has in the hill, man. 2 minutes, 21 seconds on his 6th spree. There's nothing this guy can't do. Only 2 more seconds for Rise Nation to close this one out. And, you know, it was a pretty back and forth game, but once we get from the mid to the late game of this hard point, Rise Nation were able to separate themselves from the pack. As Splyce, yes, technically it's still doable. Now they're going to start to call on the rest of their streaks, but it's a long road ahead, man.
It most definitely is. And to your point, you know, when Gunless has 2 minutes 21 hill time, you can only imagine, well, how many of those kills and how many of that kill streak was inside the hill as well, thus earning those streaks just so regularly. And now we can kind of make it rain from above. Rise Nation secure map 1, put the pressure on Europe's only dreams really left here in Birmingham.
Yeah, and that's an important map for Rise to win because, you know, Looney was having a very slow start to that game, and he was pretty slow overall. He didn't get a lot of slaying done, and he was recognizing that throughout the game. We pointed out a couple times, you know, playing for the flank, playing for the spawns for his team, you know, limiting his own engagement so that his teammates who were on point and winning their gunfights can start to have a bigger impact on the game.
I think the key factor there for Rise, though, it was Gunless. It has to be, right? He goes on 3 big streaks, ultimately gets streaks as well that he can use, that extra utility. So helpful. And of course, you saw the effect those streaks had towards the latter part of that game. But now, of course, Rise 1-0 up in this series. Splyce, obviously, they would have liked to have won that Valk, especially considering at one point all 4 players went on streaks of their own.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point in time, like you were saying, where you know you got multiple sets of streaks to use on the side of Splyce, but maybe they held on to them a little bit long. It's tough to find that right situation to call them in. I think it really came after that one sequence from Bance. He gets streaked out, and then he just slows down for the large portion after that game. And then Jerd had a hot start. We didn't really see much from him after that either.
Yeah, it slowed down a little bit, but. Of course, Rise 1-0 up. This a winner's bracket semi-final matchup. Up next is going to be a search and destroy on St. Marie du Mans. And this is one, of course, that we saw Splyce play yesterday, of course, and they managed to clutch up in pretty crazy style.
Yeah, that's against FaZe, right? You know, going all the way to round 11. A little too close for comfort. But Splyce, it's always nice to have tournament experience on these maps. And Rise Nation, obviously you have some star-studded search and destroy players. TJ, Halley, you know, leading the pack here. You always talk about the Iceman when you're talking about Rise Nation and their search and destroy gameplay. Wonder what they're going to decide to bring to the table here. Typically what we see on St. Marie is a lot of coordination with the grenades, a lot of action going over near the B bomb site, but I also feel like as of late, more teams have decided to experiment with pushes over towards that A bomb site.
Especially early on, right? Your first couple of attacking rounds, you be aggressive towards the A site, you force defensively the other team to respect that early push. You have to put resources to that site, and all of a sudden, then it kind of leaves a couple of gaps over towards that B site, which you can exploit in the later part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You just have to honor the push, and it's going to open up more parts of the map. The map, speaking of which, St. Marie, search and destroy, loading on in. Rise Nation currently up 1-0 in the series. Splyce fans, if you're out in the crowd, your team needs their energy. Get behind your squad. The last European team remaining here at CWL Birmingham. They currently find themselves down in the map count. Let's see if they can tie it up.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty rough. I believe that's going to be a restart lobby as well. A couple of players not quite ready, haven't got their classes sorted, and obviously we talk about class setup. One of the things that we've seen a fair amount here in Birmingham is, of course, those gas nades. So common now to see on St. Marie to just kind of see your defensive team throw them straight over towards that cut into the B site.
Yeah, just trying to slow down those players. You know, a second or two just delaying that person getting into the B bomb site, it could mean the entire round. So we'll see if any players decide to put that on their class. Could also see some smoke grenades if you want to, you know, block off that mid choke point going over towards the A bomb site. There's a lot you could do on a map like St. Marie.
Well, while we wait for game 2 to get underway, I want to take a look at our CWL play of the game presented by Scuff Gaming. It came in the form of methods from Rise there in that map 1. A wonderful little spree that he's able to go on, and you can see at the time, relatively even.
Yeah, I remember pointing out this situation. You see, once again, Looney playing for the flank. Method's just trying to buy time, right? He's just trying to stay alive. He has teammate support and Gunless behind him, and he's just utilizing cover to perfection right there. It's able to pick up the 2-piece. His teammates then pitch on him from the other side of the hard point, and it leads to Rise Nation having a good hold on that storage bunker hard point.
Yep, and all of a sudden, Rise take the lead in that hard point. But as we said, map 2, St. Marie du Mans, search and destroy. Fist bumps coming out means the map is ready.
Typically, that's what it means, right?
Yeah, right. The map, of course, loading up, and you have to think. You look at the rest of the series, right? A Flak Tower CTF, a London Docks. Mainly, if you kind of draw your attention towards that Flak, it's something you mentioned on the desk before the series. You haven't really seen Splyce play too much. Yes, they were kind of warming up to it a little bit in terms of how they were practicing for this event, but you would love to see them just kind of level things up here, make it a 1-1
Yeah,
game.
always a little nervous when you have a lack of tournament experience on the map, but you got to try something new, and we'll see if we get to that map. Sure, we might be feeling a little bit uneasy about Splyce going into that 3rd map, but you never know what they have in store for us. And if we're able to see that 4th and 5th map, obviously we know London Docks Search and Destroy, one of Rise's best.
Yes, this definitely is. So it could be pretty scary, of course. But as it stands, Rise 1-0 up as we head over to that St. Marie Search and Destroy game 2. Splyce, they definitely need to draw on the energy of the crowd. They were making some noise there in that map 1 when they
not enough though.
Sprees, but Yeah, you might be right. Maybe not enough for them to really kind of use their energy, if you will. But the search and destroy now officially underway. It's going to be Splyce on the attacking side first. And we'll see that potential B push come out straight away.
Okay, try and true B push. You see this setup from Rise Nation, 1 player red, 2 looking to enter through the radio tower side of the map. But as Jerd gets tagged up by grenades, it's going to be Mad Cat. First blood on the Looney. Both teams trade nades back and forth. And now with the man advantage, Splyce are just going to reassess the situation. You could spread the defense thin on the map, try to isolate 1 player, and it looks like they're going to try to target Gunless.
Yeah, as soon as they find that pick, see that rotation come slow and steady over towards the A site. Of course, Jerd with bomb in hand, has armored. Tommy also finds a pick there in TJ. Ultimately, he falls. So Mad Cat versus Gunless could be the potential fight that you're about to see.
Yeah, you got to get this trade. Mad Cat's going to back on up, but he has the bomb in hand, and they pick up the player in red. They know Gunless is the last player alive at the A bomb site, so it's an immediate call. Rotation back to the B bomb site. This is going to be a free bomb plant for... it's going to be Mad Cat with the bomb in his hand, so he's going to get a good kickstart to some of those score streaks, and they're just going to wait for this plant to go down before they commit for the kill onto Gunless.
Yeah, Gunless now the 1v3, 40 seconds left. Bomb, of course, down over towards B. He's got a long journey over to rotate. Bans, of course, checking the cuts. They know exactly where Gunless is going to be coming from, so realistically, it's going to be Mad Cat that picks up this kill. Should be a freebie. And, of course, that's going to be good for him, his second kill, and also the bomb plant. And I'm curious, did you happen to spot whether he was using Expeditionary that round? Because that first blood nade came from pretty far away.
I didn't spot, but it's something we can keep an eye on in the later rounds. I know some players love to use that, especially on St. Marie, like we were saying entering this game. Slowing down the team, you know, a second or two entering that B bomb site, it can mean the world of a difference for a round win. But Mad Cat, not only does he find 2 kills in that round, he also gets the bomb plant. So Rise Nation, you're tracking the streaks. Coming into this next round, you want to shut down Mad Cat.
Realistically, the big play, as you mentioned, in that round when Mad Cat was trying to trade out that kill that Gunless was able to pick, the Rise player mid-map falls, and it opens up so much of the map there for Splyce to just rotate and get that bomb down. But now Rise on the attacking side, the nades come out. TJ's going to be tagged up. Jerd first blood. It's Gunless that falls, and Jerd finds the second on Looney, and that leaves Rise Nation in a 2v4. Bomb down in the B site as well.
Yeah, that's never a fun situation being, because it's so tough to retake position inside that B bomb site when you're down to man count. He's able to find a kill onto Tommy, and I also noticed that he forgot to switch up his reticle using the default one here as opposed to the dot, but he's going to swap over to the PPSH, just looking to find 1 more kill. He has shots in the Mad Cat, thinking of committing to this kill, and Mad Cat wisely backing on up, wants to stay alive as TJ still trying to work alongside Methods. Bomb still down at the B site.
Yeah, if you're Mad Cat, you don't want to needlessly give away your life. The reach out comes through and TJ falls. Methods, it's his turn in round 2 to be in the 1 versus 3 situation. Again, still has to try and make a play over towards B, but you can see the way Splyce have played this. There's 3 entries into the B site. There's 3 Splyce players. Everyone has an angle covered, and Mad Cat finds another. And I'm thinking he's getting dangerously close to streaks now, because that's a couple of kills. He obviously got the bomb plant as well. So I think he's going to be a key player to watch out for. I think that's his 4th kill overall.
Yeah,
so he's
4th kill.
Now. And close.
Look, that final kill at the end, that's one of those situations where Methods is preeming around the corner, and the model of the gun is actually blocking the character model of Mad Cat, so tough for Methods to spot him there. And we were speaking a bit about Expeditionary going into this second round. Methods was using it on that offensive round, so it's something to keep in mind, you know, being able to throw those grenades further, as well as have an attack and a lethal to throw at your opponents.
Dangerously close is Mad Cat to those streaks, so of course.
And they give him the bomb.
Will take in that bomb, of course. The plant will give him those streaks. The nade gets thrown out. Will he find a first blood? Doesn't look like it, but Jerd's been aggressive straight off the bat. It's Tommy that finds a pick. He's been traded out by Methods. CJ up top as Jerd actually gets challenged, but Mad Cat does find the pick.
And he does have streaks as well. And keep in mind, since it's so early in the game, especially in this round, there's no way these Rise Nation players are going to have Mountain on.
You just use them this round. Secure the round win. I mean,
well, you got to get the bomb plant. Get the bomb plant back all the way up through ammo, and then just play around the streaks from there.
It's one of these situations now where I bet Mad Cat wishes he didn't actually have the bomb in hand, right?
Could I give it to Bance?
Yeah.
Could I pass it over?
Probably would have been a little bit better for him, but unfortunately now Bance does fall, and he's going to have information that Gunless is inside. So I think, you know, based by where Rise are playing here, Mad Cat with 40 seconds left, he may want to try and consider rotating this over to that A site. It's risky.
Exactly.
He has to cross, of course, and if you expect someone to be top red, it can be pretty tricky. But Mad Cat trying to make the play.
Yeah, when you're the last one alive for your team, down in the man advantage, it's not a 1v1. A is the bomb site to go to. It's easier to plant it there. So, he's going to get down. He should be able to get this bomb planted, but Rise, they should commit to this fight, right? You know Mad Cat's tagged up. You know he's weak. You can just double push him and try to trade him out.
Mad Cat can get away from this, you know. He's going to challenge. Oh, I thought for a minute there he was going to see if Gunless was going to pre-fire more, maybe pre-aim to the right or left. It's a 50-50 at that point, right? You have to just try and guess where the other Rise player is going to come from. But unfortunately for Mad Cat, it does fall. But of course, gets all of those streaks.
And Rise Nation 100% know those streaks are in play. Mad Cat has 0. That was his first death in the game. It's simple to add up the points and saying, all right, the rest of the game, we're probably going to have to run some mountain or play inside cover.
Now, of course, Splyce still 2-1 up. It's Rise's turn to go back on the aggressive. They will be on the attacking side here in round 4. And we'll see if maybe they want to go over towards that B site or maybe mix things up a little bit. You can see Gunless making his way over towards his A site, almost his natural habitat, it feels like, on St. Marie. But TJ, the main player to watch, because he himself is actually working on some streaks.
Hey, he's got good progression to work with, and this is what we talk about, taking risk, high reward. He's going to barrel right through the middle of the map. Tommy definitely not expecting that. First blood going in favor of Rise Nation, and now they have a good spread of the map. They have good information to play off the back of as well. Action might be going down over near that A bomb site. We'll see how the rest of this round plays out.
And here's the problem if you're Splyce now at that B site. You're so worried about TJ trying to put pressure on the flank. You have to respect his presence there. And Mad Cat isolated over towards the A site. He's going to drop, and Rise Nation find 3. They find 4. Everyone stays alive in that round as well. A beautiful, beautiful round there from Rise. And it all came with TJ being a little aggressive, right? Making a high risk, high reward kind of play.
Pushes right up the middle of the map, gets first blood, and that right away it makes Splyce uneasy because the remaining 2 players over at the B site, they have to worry about a potential flank, and so does Mad Cat over near A, and Mad Cat can't watch all the angles. Right. He decides to play a bit of a forward position over near the lookout tower, and he challenges that player near the shed, but that opens it up to a middle map attack, right? Somebody pushes up at that mid sandbag jump up, they take out Mad Cat, and then the last 2 players fall from Splyce.
And now what's interesting as well, from Splyce's POV, do you expect maybe TJ to have those streaks? Right, he's been
starting to think of it.
On a big, big rampage. It's definitely something that is going to be in the back of your mind. Jared on the attacking side, though, Splyce just kind of waltz into the B site for absolute free.
And look at where Mad Cat's playing. 100% they're playing around the streaks right here.
Post plant position. You just want to see him watch that flank and stay alive. Of course, if his teammates do die, you have a fighter pilot that you can just kind of fly straight through. You got all your streaks if you're Mad Cat. And here's the key, TJ, a kill away from streaks of his own. And it could be massive if he's able to get him.
This is a huge engagement in the round. If Mad Cat finds the kill into TJ, that's no streaks for TJ. If they take out Mad Cat, then Rise Nation don't have to worry about those streaks, but it's going to be Splyce. They find the important kills. It's all down to methods. Even though he's on a 3 spree, he might want to keep his progression towards his streaks, but this is an unwinnable situation for him.
It's most definitely unwinnable, and he drops very, very quickly the second he tries to peek. And Splyce, once again, take the advantage in the round. And you pointed out that gunfight at the back of the map for Mad Cat TJ. It's so much bigger than just streaks, right? Because if TJ does win that fight, Mad Cat can't actually streak from his post-plant position. All of a sudden, that kind of post-plant setup from Splyce gets a little shaky. Yes, of course, you still do have some players in the site where you expect them to win those gunfights.
Potentially a game-changing round.
Exactly that, exactly that. Splyce 3-2 up. And of course, now Rise back on the attacking side here. Curious to see if maybe TJ goes for kind of a similar push, right? Last attacking round, you saw him just go straight through the middle of the map. Is that something he may consider? Maybe he goes bottom red, maybe? Or is he just going to...
He's going to do it. He's just going to charge right at the middle of the map, maybe a little bit slower than the previous round. And he could also do some variations like this, climb up into top red, just trying to catch somebody off guard.
And I like that play, because Jared commonly kind of plays up top in that red position on the defensive side. So TJ maybe trying to see if he could catch Jared out, but Jared nowhere to be found. Of course, he's now playing mid-street this round, but that's a nice first blood. Can he find a second as well? TJ just opens the floodgate there of the Splyce setup.
It's just a bad setup from Splyce. Kami does not have that full angle over towards top red, and TJ makes him pay for it. They also have no information of what's going on inside red. You were talking about it. Typically, Jared plays over near that red side of the map. This round, he didn't. TJ decides to push into top red, doesn't find anything, and finds 2 free kills, but Splyce are making this around. They find 2 kills on the retake into the B site.
Now it's that 2v2. Jared and Mad Cat versus TJ and Methods. TJ's going to be spotted. Mad Cat desperately trying to find a kill. Jared actually guns Methods as well. And now it's going to be a 1v1 with 21 seconds left. Jared really with no. Oh, that's so unfortunate. He had no other option other than to try and force that gunfight. Wanted to try and take it as quickly as he possibly could, but then I think maybe gets caught mantling there.
Yeah.
Doesn't expect TJ to be re-challenging either, more than likely. But that, considering it was a 2v4 for Splyce, to make that a 2v2 was almost miraculous.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, TJ right there, he's probably thinking, Jared, he's got me tagged up. He doesn't think I'm going to re-challenge. And Jared might just go right for the defuse after. So TJ kind of has to go back up.
Right.
One more bullet is all Jared needed. And that could have really shifted the momentum of the game in favor of Splyce if they'd won that.
Obviously, you look at TJ's stat line, 9 and 3, but it's more the importance of the kills and what he's actually been able to achieve in the opening of these attacking rounds for Rise. Now, of course, it goes back over towards Splyce on the attack as the game is tied 3-3. Jared, of course, bomb in hand. The nades come flying through, and that could give Jared license now to plant. Note of course, TJ up top. Is he going to peek Bance? He is, and Bance wins the gunfight. First blood Splyce.
Okay, so now it's Splyce in the 4v2 situation with the man advantage. Let's see if Rise Nation could make it a little bit interesting. He's still got Methods and Gunless here, spotting one behind the radio tower, but he's forced to back up. Can't, stick around for much longer as he's waiting for Gunless to make a play. Gunless falls. It's off the Methods. Splyce now starting to build a lead.
A little bit of a big round there, potentially. 4-3 now, as Bance picks up the final kill there onto Methods. Of course, maybe if TJ was alive, he may have been able to try and manipulate something there, but...
You never know with TJ alive.
That's a scary thing, right? It really is just petrifying almost when you're playing against him, especially when he's in such good form as he is right now at 9-4. Looney, a bit of a slow game from him, 1-6. Bance was having a slow one as well at 1-4 before he picked up 2 kills in quick succession. But now Rise back on the attack here. Can they somehow level it back up here, take it 4-4, or will Splyce find that cushion they so desperately need?
Yeah, also important to keep in mind, Mad Cat still has these streaks. So when you're looking at these class loadouts from the guys on Rise Nation, you see Methods here. He's using Mountain. They can't use the classes that they would prefer to use, and that's going to slow them down. Enter the B bomb site. That allows Bance to get early position near the bomb site. He finds first blood. Early man advantage to Splyce.
Yeah, that's really, really well played considering there's 2 players there. And Mad Cat is just going to try and solidify this round. He drops a glide bomb, picks up Methods. You have a 4 versus 2 for Splyce. You're on the defensive. This could be that cushion you need. Jared has to just stay alive, throws the nade out. That should be a kill. Beautifully done. And Gunless for the 2nd time this map in a 1v3.
I mean, take a look at the first bloods in this game. 2, 4, 5, 6 for Splyce out of 8 rounds played. Yep. You figure they would like to have a bigger lead off the back of that, but still, they have a lead about to go up by 2 rounds unless Gunless can make some magic happen. With 30 seconds remaining, he's in a 1v3. He's spotted. High ground advantage for Splyce. They pick up the kill, easy peasy. Now 1 round away from closing out map 2.
Yeah, it's almost impossible in that situation when the bomb is down. You got to play for it. You got to plant it, and you have 3 Splyce players.
Got to do everything
perfectly. Yeah, time, of course, really putting your back against the wall, that's for sure. But if you are just tuning in, of course, it was Rise Nation that took map 1, the hardpoint Valk. Now, Splyce put themselves at map point here in game 2. We've seen many a comeback, though, here in Birmingham. So this one definitely not solidified, but still, Mad Cat has a few streaks at his disposal. Only invested the glide bomb.
Look, Rise Nation, they're champions. You never count out champions, no matter what the situation is. Always capable of a comeback. They have the talent. They just need to find the rhythm in this game. Looney 1-7. Really, it's only TJ doing something, and he gets first blooded.
Yep, Tommy expecting maybe a fast play from TJ and gets his reward, his 2nd first blood of the game. And Splyce, once again, with the numerical advantage. It's 4v3, and you see all of a sudden the mortars get rained in on the A site. They don't connect with a kill on Gunless, but Gunless is forced to move into maybe a little bit more of an unfavorable position.
Look at Rise Nation. Look at what they're doing. It's a double flank. They're trying to be aggressive and push right behind these Splyce players, but Mad Cat might know what's going on. Looney finds the kill into Mad Cat. This is going to force Splyce to make a decision, force their hand at a reaction, and what are they going to do? Commit to the A bomb site, but Looney's hot on the trail. He's going to find 2 players working alongside Gunless. They need 1 more kill. It's all up to Tommy. Makes it down to a 1v1.
Tommy did so well to win his fight.
He's on a 6 spree, by the way.
Does
he have streaks?
Yep, he does.
I don't think he's spotting Gunless.
Oh, I think he may have just seen him right at the very end there, but just couldn't drag the glide bomb. So with 28 seconds left, it's Gunless versus Tommy. Oh, he just got sight of him. 20 seconds. Shots fired. Gunless still alive, of course.
Fighter pilot? Do you fighter pilot and just spray that area of the map?
I mean,
he's got a nade as well.
Gunless isn't going to challenge that, right? There's no way Gunless flies. All he has to do is peek bomb. Bomb is down. Gunless versus Tommy, and Gunless goes big for Rise to keep them alive in the search and destroy. And it's worth mentioning, what Looney did that round was perfect. He double flanks with his teammate. He finds the first kill, but then he doesn't have to pick any other kills up that round because he forces the 2 other Splyce players right into Gunless. Gunless basically gets more free kills.
Yeah, Gunless has the better positioning in that scenario. And Tommy at the end there, if he was able to get that bomb planted, he could have backed all the way up and used the fighter pilot to maybe buy some time on that defuse. But Rise Nation, they live to see at least 1 more round.
I think potentially, if Gunless hadn't been using Mountain and he realized that when he used a glide bomb, maybe he considers maybe pulling out that fighter pilot to try and seal the deal. But such a risky play in that 1v1.
Oh, absolutely. But you'd love to see something like that happen.
Oh, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. But of course, Rise now on the attacking side. Looney, bomb in hand. It's been Bance, who's been such a pain for Rise to deal with over at this B site. Looney's going to spot him. Of course, he has held onto his Semtex here, so you could potentially see him try and launch that out and then play for that pick.
Yeah, just trying to stay alive for the time being. Jiggle peeking a little too much, and here comes the double nade. And after that, you kind of follow up into the bomb site. But Bance moves to the bomb site. They nade the bomb, and then he just moves back to the radio tower, dodges 2 lethals being thrown at him. Still no kills made. Now the fighter pilot getting called in. That doesn't get much done, but it's slowing down Rise Nation. You take a look at the time left in this round. Only 40 seconds left, and no kills made. Rise Nation have to make a play happen.
And Bant staying alive there is crucial because it stops Rise flooding into that B site. Yes, the fighter pilot doesn't get much, but Looney may have just found a weakness there to Splyce's setup. Jerd may slow it down once again. 3v3, 28 seconds left. Rise have to plant. I know Mad Cat still has a fighter pilot as well that he could use, but here's the tricky thing. Looney, he's hunting Mad Cat out, and Looney actually finds the pick on Mad Cat, and that's massive because now you have the fighter pilot.
Take a look at time.
The plant has to come through. 12 seconds left. It's a 2v2.
And I don't think any of these players from Splyce have streaks. They check the B bomb site. Now they know it immediately. It's got to be over near A. And look at where Methods is playing. He's playing here to win the round. As it's going to be Bance peeking out towards the bomb. Looney is able to get away safely.
They have no idea that Methods could potentially take this to around 11. 30 seconds left. Bance thinks Red is clear, and rightfully so. He's basically just come from there. Now you're going to see him get shot in the back. It's Methods that cleans up the kill. Jerd, 1v2, he falls! And Rise take us to around 11. Looney again making another big play. He shuts down Matt Gay, who was hunting him. He was basically saying, I know he still has a fighter pilot. I have to find him. If I had that fighter pilot, where would I play, right? You have rough intel on
my
the
spawn.
side.
I'm playing my spawn.
Exactly that, checking every single corner, and then having enough time to plant the bomb. A wonderful play from Looney, and that takes us now to, of course, around 11 in game 2.
No, I had a chance to watch Splyce go up against FaZe on this map last night, and it was a very similar story. Splyce were able to get streaked out, and then you just feel that they're throwing some of these rounds away. But like I said when it was 5-3, you can't count out a team like Rise Nation. They're champions for a reason.
I casted that game. I almost had a heart attack after that. It was crazy, but first blood, is it going to come in the form of Rise? It will, and that was the one player that was defending the B site so well. Now this is where if you're Mad Cat, you have
quickly, can we scroll through these Splyce players? Do any of them have streaks left?
Mad Cat still has his fighter pilot, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, he doesn't. He actually used it.
They have nothing.
They have nothing, but Mad Cat is able to find a pick. Tommy ultimately falls. It's a 2v3 now for Splyce as they look to try and retake the B side. You can see the way Rise is set up so well. Splyce need a pick, and they need to find it quickly. Mad Cat falls. Jerd in the 1 versus 3. 27 seconds left. Rise have him pinned. Jerd realistically one shot here as well. There should be no chance he wins this round.
Absolutely none. Jerd, you're great, but there's no way you're winning this situation. Rise Nation, they're going to do it. They steal that map away from Splyce. They go up 2-0.
That's one way of your Splyce. You are kicking yourself.
Absolutely. Up 5-3 with multiple streaks. Got to close out.
It's a little unfortunate, that's for sure, but Rise doing what they do best, right? Clutching up. This is why they're your reigning champs. They make comebacks just like that. And now they're sitting 2-0 up in the series. You head over to what?
Flag Tower.
CTF. I mean, this series could be done. I mean, of course, for Europe, as I mentioned earlier on, it's been a bad day. A couple teams already knocked out. This is a winner's bracket game, so even if Splyce do lose, they're still in the tournament, thank God. But you would love to see them try and fight for that winner's spot.
Yeah, and look, in that game, Splyce have, what, like 7 out of the 11 first bloods as well?
Fun,
you figure you're playing with the man advantage, but you can't give enough credit to Rise, especially you have Looney and Method struggling so early on in that game, and Looney, I think the game changes when Looney's making that flank and Gauntlets wins the one-on-one at the 100%. End.
It's worth mentioning that final round as well. Bant's traditionally been that player that gets into that B site so early. Rise just naded so deep, and they forced Bance to not be able to get control of the site, because that was the thing that was stopping Rise every single time they tried to push to B. It was Bance, single-handedly. You saw him duking out nades very late on into those rounds and forcing Rise's hand essentially over towards the A site. But when Bance falls for first blood there, I mean, that whole Splyce setup falls apart.
Yeah, and Rise Nation, they're playing from the back foot that entire map. You get streaks so early on from Mad Cat. It forces Rise to switch up their classes, starting to run Mountain. They finally, in that last round, in round 11, they could use the normal classes that they wanted to use, and they make it work. You know, at the end, Splyce, they both tried to fight him from the same angle. Rise knew exactly what was up. They set up the crossfire and close out that final round.
Yeah, fantastic performance from Rise Nation. They now find themselves 2-0 up against Splyce in our winners semifinal. For now, we'll go to a quick commercial. When we return, however, we're heading to Game 3, Flag Tower CTF. and gentlemen, welcome back to Championship Sunday here at CWL Birmingham, presented by PlayStation 4, Benson, and of course Revan, giving you all the action here for the winners bracket semi-final match. Rise Nation, our reigning champs, going up against Europe's only hopes and dreams now left here in Birmingham. And, well, it's 2-0.
Yeah, I'm sorry for all the European Call of Duty fans that had to watch that final map. Sure, it was a bit tough to stomach. You figure you had all the advantages going in favor of Splyce. Early streaks, more first bloods than the other team, but somehow, some way, Rise, they find a way to close it out in round 11.
And it's strange, right? Because you look at Rise Nation's performance so far this tournament, and it hasn't been great in pool play, but they seem to be turning things around once again, and this is looking kind of dangerous, to be honest with you. Maybe they could go back-to-back.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're going into a third map of Flag Tower CTF. I can't think of a single tournament where I've seen Splyce play this map. Could definitely be wrong, but they got to have something in store for us here because I'm a little uneasy going into this next map.
Yeah, me too. I think you have to look at the likes of Vance potentially to really step up, have a big game, because Rise Nation, I mean, you think about that Valk, right? Gunless goes on a big streak. You have TJ playing pretty consistently as well. They caused Splyce a lot of problems in the first respawn, but of course this is CTF, completely different. And with Splyce being 0-2 down, I'm curious to see exactly how they're feeling and more importantly, how they're communicating. So with that, I want to send it to an Astro Gaming listening with Team Splyce.
Behind me. He's up behind wood. Nice, good shit. One behind wood. Nice, good shit, too. Gunless already up.
I got boxes though, I got boxes.
Method's up as well. Gunless and Method's both up now.
I'm watching them mid.
Spawn back right.
Oh, he's already mid, what the fuck? He's mid, push that mid.
Yeah, he's there boxes, they're boxes.
Nice, good shit. Method's now, Method's.
Yeah.
In their bottom mid.
He's like, we've seen him. One could push his sandbags in there, careful.
Literally, everyone push sandbags.
Wait. Stay down.
Weak.
And where are you?
Wait low.
We're in the room, dead.
Go. Ben, must be mid. Mid, let's go there, bottom mid. Challenging. Nice, Jacko, run it.
Right, Looney and Method's up, they're low already low.
I'm watching it, just go.
I have armored on, I'm slow.
Yeah, just go.
Bottom right.
Yeah, let's go, bottom right.
Chasing, I'm one bullet. Someone get ready, get flag if I die, get ready.
Stop, to your right.
He's two.
Got it.
Nice.
They're going to reload though.
Yeah, they got it.
We're fine.
One was that big gun on the right.
Alright, one's watching, he's on the heady on the right side. Close mid heady. Close heady on this right, Ben.
I'm nading us, He's already out.
Another one bottom right.
TJ
weak low.
Just like 11.
Yeah, good play.
We need to kill Methods.
On flag.
He's going to go for it. He challenges that finish. One more. Jerk every. You're on streaks.
We're low right.
Done this one shot in
Bottom mid.
electric.
Mid. One shot Methods. On you. Alright, get outskirts.
Bottom mid.
I'm holding outside. Pick up John on spawn.
Right. I'll pick it up.
A wonderful little listen in there with Splyce, and you can see the little things which can make such a big difference. Of course, Tommy, Jared, get the return. You're close to streaks.
Good to see him just being aware about the little things, right? And keep it in mind, as well as a little bit earlier. Got to take down Methods, he's on streaks. And once again, Splyce, they earned the first set of score streaks, but Jared falls. Rise are picking up the kills. They're running the flag. The glide bomb does find the kill on the Methods, but Gunless is away with this flag. Yeah. This is going to be another cap for Rise.
Yep, that's going to be a 2-1 advantage in favor of Rise, and considering how well Splyce started, now they find themselves down by one.
And they use the fighter pilot?
I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that. I mean, Vance is in a pretty good position to watch the cross of the
flag. But he's the only one.
He's going to miss the shots anyway, and the fighter pilot doesn't really do much. So ultimately, if you're Splyce, you've invested 2 streaks there, you still lose a flag, and now you're down by 1.
It's just an awful use of streaks. They have to get the flag off the back of this, and now it's up to Mad Cat. He's the last one there. Vance was the only one in position to make a play on that flag, right? And right now, he's 2-7, so obviously he doesn't have the high hand for the team. I really disagree with the use of using the fighter pilot right there.
Now where it gets scary is Methods may actually pick up some streaks of his own on a 4 streak as well. Currently sitting at 8-4. Keep your eye out on him on the minimap. Of course, he's going to be number 6, watching that left-hand side lane. This is TJ's perspective as the furthest pushed Rise player. He ultimately drops, and now you actually get to see Methods 225 points away from those streaks. Should find Tommy, now just 125 away.
Yeah, he could also try to work on getting a touch on the flag, but he winds up falling, so that winds up being a big kill for Jerd to make, and now Splyce can try and put on some aggression. Vance is going to be able to get a touch on this flag. He's starting to run this one right through the middle map. He's going to find Looney. He can't win that engagement. A big one-on-one for Looney, as he was the only one left alive for his team. His teammates now coming off respawn, looking to follow up on this defensive hole.
Jerd slows down the tempo once again as he looks to really find his second set of streaks. The only player from Splyce really having a standout performance at 10-4.
Nice, I like it.
That's one player to go. And guess what? They think the mid lane's clear, but Looney turns around and checks. And, well, Vance just, well, yeah, Gunless just did that. So 2 players from Splyce full. Rise Nation, once again, they're getting aggressive.
Yeah, you like to see Jared trying to make that play happen, right? He knows his team is down one flag, let one sneak by, call it out to your team, and trying to make a play happen off the back of it. Now with the flag in hand, Looney, he's going to wind up getting streaked out. TJ Halley here, it's a one-on-one, him versus Bance to try to keep this flag on alive. He wins the 1v1, and now it's a foot race on the overextension. You see Tommy first one live, nice shots from Methods. He's going to shut that down. This is going to be yet another flag cap for Rise Nation.
And more importantly, TJ 3 kills, has the flag in hand as well. How close to streaks is he going to be after that flag gets run home? 3-1, 40 seconds left of the first half, and Splyce just really no answer to the consistent pressure being put on the map by Rise.
I mean, Jared's the only one positive on the team right now. Madcat 7-7, he's the next in line at even. He tries to make a hero play on the other side of the map. Bance is trying to there to support him, but on the other side, Looney pulls another flag.
And here's the problem when you try to make hero plays. Sometimes you leave yourself a little bit vulnerable, and guess what?
You leave your teammates out to dry too.
Exactly that. Looney has the flag. Luckily, Bance was in a good enough position to be able to pick that flag up and go for a counter. So it looks as if a couple of streaks are going to be used here for Rise. Madcat and Bance both full, so flag is in a returnable position. It's basically going to come down to whether TJ can try and make the play. He's already wrapped all the way around. Big gunfight there, which Tommy had to win. Looney gets it, and that could well be the end of the round.
Nice try.
Rise getting an extra flag. 4-1 now, the score.
How many clutch 1v1s have you seen Looney win during the CTF?
Too many.
You know, I'll say he had a pretty rough game in the hard point, but he decided to turn around and adjusted his play style to fit his team. Slow start in the search and destroy, but at the end, he winds up making a play that changes the momentum and shifts momentum to his side. And now here, he's just clutching up once again.
I mean, he made a couple of plays in the S&D, really. He kind of recognized he started off a little slow and just kind of, to your point, adjust his play style a little bit. Now, though, those key 1v1s are really being highlighted because his team are getting extra points. They're
He's winning everything, 12-6 right now.
Yeah, having a great map, that is for sure. Splyce down by 3, Rise with streaks as well. This could be a very painful game 3.
You know, it is pleasing to see that everybody on Rise Nation has one in the flag capture column, but not if you're a European Call of Duty fan. Splyce now down by 3 flags, but look, it's still possible. Another big engagement about to happen as Madcat takes out TJ Halley. This is such early aggression by Rise.
And when you're down 3, the key for Splyce here is they have to be aggressive early. They have to almost bait out a couple of those streaks, right? You have to touch the flag. You have to try and put pressure on Rise, because if the game gets down to the final 2 minutes and you're still down 3 and the Rise still have streaks, it's almost impossible to win a game when you get to that point.
Yeah, you also got to find a way to get Bance involved in this game. 6-14, he's the last one alive for his team, and where is he at the back of his base? It seems like throughout the majority of this game, Splyce have just been fighting from the back foot, trying to fight for middle map position. Tommy now on the overextension. He has to make this play happen. You can't let Rise Nation capture this flag. Challenger with the machine pistol is gunless. Tommy takes him down, but a player coming around from the flank. He can't pick up the kill on Looney, but fortunately off respawn, it's going to be Jared. They get the return, and now they can start to push up on the map.
Obviously, you mentioned Bance at 6-15. He's had such a great day 1 and day 2, but Championship Sunday, you're really yet to see his full form. Had obviously good performance in map 2, but now can Splyce turn it around? Jared could be the catalyst. Ultimately, he drops as well. With just under 4 minutes still to go. Methods just cleaning out his base, has the help of TJ, and Tommy now basically the last man alive here for Splyce.
Yeah, I mean, 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining, of course, and once again, it's 3 down for Splyce. They spawn back up in their base, and Rise Nation have free roam around the map. Last one alive is going to be Jared, and it looks like he has been able to sneak through, so he's going to call this out to his teammates. His teammates have to find 1, maybe 2 kills, and then Jared could go for the flagpole. This could be a moment in the game where Splyce could get a flag on the board. Jared actually team kills Bance.
I want to point out, Bance, he tried to just melee dive around the corner, and he actually got a kill from that. He was one shot, so he was just trying to escape the player chasing him, and he finds a kill, and I think that's why Jared kind of turned the corner pre-firing. He didn't expect that kill to come through, but ultimately, what could have been a sneaky little setup there for Jared is going to be shut down, so still down by 3 with 3 minutes to go. It's not looking good for Europe.
Yeah, it's just been great decision-making all game long from Rise Nation. They recognize the situations when they all need to collapse back on their base to try to find that sneaky player, or all push forward and establish map dominance. And Splyce are starting to run out of time, man. All these kills that they're getting are on the defensive end. They're not using these kills to generate any offensive pushes.
And this is my fear, right? If the game sort of ticks away, you haven't had any aggressive push, and Rise still have
those streaks, yeah.
Right? So it's only going to get more and more difficult. Every time they've pushed for an aggressive play, Rise have answered them beautifully on the defensive, and Jared now again, you know, he's got a little bit of map control, but he's basically by himself. The problem as well, they have his gunless has snuck by. No one from Splyce decides to actually check back apart from Bance. And this could be a 1v1 here for a flagpole. Okay, Jared buying time. His teammates not pushing up as they make a push towards the Rise Nation base, but Gunless just has to win this 1v1. And where are the rest of the Splyce teammates on the other side of the map? It's all up to Tommy. If Halley's about to pick up that kill, Tommy has to pick up that clutch 3-piece, and now it's a 1v1 with the flag carriers.
And if you're Tommy with a minute 53, do you just challenge Gunless?
I think you have to. It's a ballsy play to make, but I really feel like you have to. You just don't have a lot of time to work with here.
Well, the fighter pilot gets called in, so Tommy has to scramble. Doesn't want to leave himself too wide open. I don't think the fighter pilot's going to have too much of an effect, but Splyce at a minute 38. I mean, if you're going to go, you really have to start making that play. A couple of kills go in their favor. Once again, Looney and Gunless, the two players still alive. Looney drops, Gunless now waiting for his teammates to come off spawn. You can see Splyce flooding over towards the players go down. The return goes in, the cap comes through. Now you can get a relay once again, and more importantly, TJ has to use streaks again.
Yeah, perfect time to use the streak sight. You want to slow down the push from Splyce, slow down that progression of that flag carry. He finds one kill, takes down Madcap, but Tommy has a glide bomb. He takes down TJ Halley. It's up to Jerd, working alongside Vance, and Jerd, he's starting to get streaked out. It's still possible for Splyce to come back in this game, but it's Looney. Looney once again, I pointed it out earlier, and now it happens again. So many clutch kills throughout this capture of flag, just stopping that momentum from Splyce as Rise Nation hold on to their 2-flag lead.
A great play from Looney, but Jerd had no choice. He had to challenge that gunfight, even though he was one shot too afraid that maybe Looney returns that flag. His hand forced. 46 seconds still to go. Splyce with streaks. Can they somehow find a miracle? Flag is going to be instantly stopped, but the problem is they don't have anyone in Rise's side of the map.
Yeah, they got to start pushing forward, pick up these defensive kills, then immediately sprint towards the other side of the map. But this aggression from Rise Nation, pinning Splyce back in their base, it's been their key to success all game long. And now, with less than 30 seconds remaining, it's looking good for Rise Nation to complete the hot 3-0 over Splyce.
Our reigning champs coming here to CWL Birmingham. It started off pretty shaky, but by God, do they look good in this winner's bracket, that's for sure. Splyce, of course, went unbeaten in pools. Well, they will fall now over to our losers bracket. They're still alive, but how far can they go? That's the question. Rise Nation, they booked their ticket into today's championship winners bracket final.